Bonsoir, bienvenue, welcome to the Municipality of French River regular council meeting. I need somebody to open the meeting, so I'm called to order. I need a mover. Dave, seconded by Bob. Adoption of the agenda. I need a resolution to adopt the agenda. I need a mover, Randy, and a seconder, Richard. All in favor?
I'm in favor.
Okay. Mel, all good?
Yes, we're all good.
Okay. 3, disclosure of pecuniary interest. Does anybody have any? Seeing none?
None.
Okay. 4, delegations. 4.1. Clause de la 9e année, école secondaire de la Rivière des Francines, demande de commandite pour réaménagement de la cour récréative. Sponsorship request from the students at l'école secondaire de la Rivière des Français for the recreation yard redevelopment project. So I believe Chloé will speak to the project. So bienvenue Chloé.
Bonjour, merci. Donc, je vais partager mon écran, là.
Si possible, on a des conseillers qui sont seulement anglophones. Alors, si tu veux peut-être dire une couple de mots en anglais.
OK, parfait. Donc, bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Hi. So, today we will be presenting a bit about our redevelopment project for the yard, donc notre projet de réaménagement. So, before starting, avant de commencer, je vais juste faire un petit tour de table parce que pas toutes nous autres vont être ici ce soir. Donc, we have Chloé Beaulieu, we have Ashley Touchette, Jérémy Seguin, Danica Newton, who is with us tonight, Seth Dengar, Chloé Leblanc, that is me, and Malika Carrière, who is also here with us tonight. So because they're not all here tonight, some of them have prepared little videos and I can translate them after. So here we have Jérémy Seguin, who will do la reconnaissance de territoire.
Son volume, on l'entend pas.
Vous entendez pas le volume?
No.
Ah.
Non.
He's on mute.
Okay, well, I can just say it live then. So, la reconnaissance des territoires. Donc, nous tenons à reconnaître que les territoires sur lesquels nous nous trouvons ce soir font partie des territoires des Premières Nations d'Okis, Henvey Inlet et les territoires métis. Maintenant, pour la mission de notre projet, donc, the mission of our project, c'est de réaménager le terrain abandonné derrière l'école et vraiment de le faire mettre à profit par notre communauté. I'll skip the videos since you guys can't hear them. Le projet, donc vraiment, en gros, notre projet, comment que ça a commencé? C'est, on a identifié un problème. So we saw a bit of a problem. So, il y avait le terrain abandonné derrière l'école, puis ça faisait longtemps que ça n'avait pas fait mettre à l'usage. Puis on était comme, ben, c'est un bon terrain encore, donc on est mieux de faire quelque chose avec, on a le temps. Puis ça serait vraiment cool, tu sais, d'avoir un terrain en arrière de l'école, on pourrait faire des tournois, puis d'autres choses comme ça. Also, since in September we just got in school and with the whole COVID thing, social distancing, we didn't have enough room in the cafeteria for every student to sit. And so that was a bit of an issue too. Aussi avec l'école élémentaire qui était nouvellement intégrée dans la bâtisse, on a eu un peu un choc au niveau de le montant d'espace extérieur qu'on avait. On n'avait plus même vraiment de cours maintenant. Donc, on voulait vraiment résoudre ça. Donc, ça tombe dans nos besoins. Puis là, nos désirs, c'était vraiment de créer un espace. So we wanted to create an area for teenagers especially, but every member of our community where we could just get together and be safe. And safe in a sense of security, but also physical security in that sense, like physical health and mental health and all of that, because we would have like tables and all of those that we will show in the video, even though you guys won't be able to hear it. I will still play it. Et oui, c'est ça, on voulait juste vraiment apporter la communauté ensemble, avoir une place pour faire ça. Puis là, ça a vraiment devenu un rêve. So it became a bit of a dream after we thought this all out. And it was really something we wanted to do. We wanted to prove to ourselves that we could do it, even though we were kids and, you know, some might not believe that we can be able to do it, but we really want to pursue our dreams.
So basically, the uniqueness of this project is entirely about like the concept pare pour for like, so it basically means that we favorize l'engagement et l'éducation des jeunes. And now I'm going to show you a video that basically like explains the advantage of our project for the arts.
Yeah, so like Malika said, the pare pour is in English that would translate to by and for. So it's a project by youth for youth to just help support our community that way. I believe that this video has subtitles. So
Melanie, can you hear me?
I'll just put it back here so I can explain a bit. So here you see a bit more of a visual of what we're trying to get accomplished with our project. So the court is going to be divided in 4. So the first section would be picnic tables and more of like a socializing area. The second and third courts would be with these nets that will accommodate all these different sports. So volleyball, tennis, and badminton. And the last of the courts, we will be playing soccer, hockey, and basketball.
Yep. Oh, I'm on now. I've finally got gotten Google to work right here, and I'm on. I got video and audio. So, okay. Thanks, Mark.
Now over here, you're seeing another one of our plans, which is more of the budgeting plan. So you see, so phase 1 is going to cost about $45,000, donc $45,000. And we hope to accomplish that by September 2021. So when we get in school next year, hopefully, right, with the COVID situation and all that. And we hope that the fourth court will be all done, because that's the one that's the most damaged right now. So as you see on the bottom here, we have just a reminder of the visual. So the one with the soccer and the basketball and the hockey. And we hope to also have all the equipment to play the different sports, as well as all the in-ground nets and all that. And then the second phase and the third phase cost the same. So yeah, and then the dates are about the end of the school year next year. And we hope to have everything done. So have all the courts with the tiles. So our plan is to have these tiles, which are kind of made of like a plastic with holes in them. It's gonna make the surface safer and flatter also. And it's also better on the joints and things like that. It has lots of safety purposes as well. And we hope to have every accessory and tables and everything done by the end of next school year. That's our hopes. But if not, that's fine. We still hope to divide our thing in 3 phases. And by the end, we will try to make a big opening following the health guidelines and everything, if that's possible. So here we have our sponsors. So who we're asking to right now, we have local businesses, donc des entreprises locales. On a aussi les membres de notre communauté. We also have larger businesses and enterprises. And we also made lots of demandes pour des organisations, des concours. So here we have something that's very interesting, because notre conseil scolaire, donc le CSPGNO, il va égaler les dons 1 à 1 jusqu'à ce qu'on atteigne 80 000 $. Donc, eux autres vont nous faire un don de 40 000 $. C'était ça leur promesse qu'ils nous ont faite quelques mois passés. Donc, c'est ça. Si on rejoint 40 000 $, eux autres nous donnent 40 000 $, puis on sera à 80 000 $ comme ça.
So, comme vous pouvez voir, on a amassé 22 700 $ déjà, so $22 700. So, à chaque semaine, après que notre projet est en avance, on va faire comme une vidéo style nouvelle, juste pour remercier tous les gens et féliciter les gens, les entreprises qui nous ont aidés financièrement. Puis en même temps, ça va être aussi un bon temps pour les avancées de notre projet, donc toutes les choses qu'on a accomplies, comme si on a installé les tuiles ou si on a ajouté quelque chose juste pour les garder à l'heure. Puis à la fin de tout ça ici, on va aussi mettre une pancarte avec tous les gens qui nous ont aidés, donc tous leurs derniers noms.
And that's our presentation. Do you guys have any questions or comments or anything?
So does anybody have any? Merci Chloé et Danica et Malika pour la présentation. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions
Sure, I have one.
for these young students?
I have one. Any?
Counselor Richard?
Yep, sure, through you. Très belle présentation, merci. So just a quick question for you. Are you planning on doing any like fundraising, like 50-50 draws or things to that effect moving forward?
We're hoping to, but with the COVID situation right now, it's really hard for us to try and do that online and everything. So right now we're just trying to juste avoir des donations pour tout de suite.
Okay.
On a toute une plateforme virtuelle et tout, mais oui, si au mois de septembre toutes les régulations sont baissées, oui, on espère vraiment de faire plus de fundraising.
So, but deadline, c'est quand pour le 100 000?
On s'est pas mis une deadline, mais comme je peux reculer là, dans nos phases.
Objectif. OK.
Ouais, on
Septembre.
espère, c'est ça, le septembre 2021 pour le 45 000. Ça, c'est juste pour avoir un terrain terminé, si on peut vraiment commencer à jouer. Et ça, mais ça, c'est nos aspirations, tu sais, mais nous autres, vraiment, le vrai deadline pour nous autres, c'est quand on va sortir du secondaire. Mais on espère vraiment que les jeunes en dessous de nous vont entreprendre ça puis continuer à avoir le flow, comme.
OK, merci.
Councillor Bob?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. First of all, Chloe, to you and your team, my hat is off to you. It's a great project. I drove around and walked around this afternoon around the high school. You've started cleaning up there, and it brought back memories because back in 1967, I started my grade 9 at French River. It was the first year the high school was open, and it brought back a lot of good memories. And seeing you and your team, how energetic you are and how you believe in this project, and it will bring a lot to the community. My hat is off to you guys. My support is behind you. Bravo. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, thank you.
Just before I let Councillor Randy, Chloe, can you share your screen so we can see
for
people?
sure. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, a little easier to see everybody. Councillor Randy, go ahead.
I'll unmute. Through you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Chloe. Really great to see the youth in the community trying to get behind a project and do something, even in COVID times, that's worthwhile. I really didn't catch a whole lot of the presentation. Of course, I'm Anglophone, so I apologize for my not being able to understand, but are the students doing all the work? From what I gather, you're purchasing these tiles to put down over the uneven ground that's there. Just so I understand the scope of the project, are you hiring out to do it? Are you doing it? What's being done? I don't really get, other than the different sections that you've pictured. How is the money being spent?
Well, for right now, first of all, it was really like abandoned. So like there was trees everywhere, and all of that work, we did that all ourselves before winter. And we got a little help from like the teachers and stuff at school. But so yeah, right now we have a couple of tables and most of the sporting equipment, if I'm not wrong. And for like the in-ground poles and nets and all that, of course, we're going to hire people. We hope to do that in the summer so that it doesn't like bother during the school year, especially with the little kids around, that can be a bit dangerous. But that's what we're hoping to do right now. And yeah.
And if I may add, the tiles that will be put down will be placed by the kids with the help of adults. So there's a lot of labor work that will be done by the kids. As Chloe mentioned, it is a project that we want to see the community participate. And we've had people coming in and offering their help. And if restrictions light up, we will definitely bring everybody together because it's a project for the community by the kids. So any help is greatly appreciated.
Really good. Thank you so much for answering my questions. I'd like to donate $50 personally to the program.
Thank you, through you, Madam Chair. I would like to visit the project and being shown a little bit what's going on. And I'd be prepared to donate between $1,000 a day, worth $1,000, $1,500 of excavation or anything like that would need to be done. I'd be prepared to donate that.
Thank you.
Mayor Giselle?
Thank you, and congratulations, Chloe and your team. I think it's an amazing project that you're embarking on. I'm glad to see that the board is going to be matching dollar for dollar up to $40,000. So it gives an incentive for the community to want to donate as well. So I want to tell you to continue the great work. I have no doubt in my mind you'll be able to reach your goal even before your deadline date. So congratulations.
Okay. Do we have anybody? I believe we do have an amount that can be pushed forward. I believe the administration and CAO looked. Councillor Randy?
Well, I was just going to ask for a reminder of that figure.
You're cutting in and out.
So actually, so are you. My connection's not great here today.
Oh,
Sorry. So what was the amount that was being passed around? I don't think we were all in agreement. There was some figures being pushed back and forth.
so yes, Mayor Giselle?
Yes, at our last council meeting, there were discussion as how big should the fish be in our donation. And I think it was Councillor Bob that says he wants to be a muskie. And so I think that the muskie is within our reach, and financially, I think we can donate $5,000 to this great project.
Councillor Randy?
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I definitely have concerns about donating that much of taxpayers' dollars to this project. We're entrusted with the money that the taxpayers give us to run the municipality, and I think that we start donating large thousands of dollar sums. Although as good as this project is, I believe that personally I don't agree with that amount. I think reaching the $1,500 mark as a councillor who's responsible for the taxpayers' dollars, to me, doesn't seem feasible. So I would not support that motion. I would like to see a lower figure going forward.
Okay, Mayor Giselle?
To answer your question, Councillor Randy, this proposal or this project is for the children of our taxpayers. And if we didn't have the money, we do have the money in different budgets to support it. I wouldn't support any higher than $5,000, but at the moment, there will be no impact on the taxpayer. And the children of the taxpayers and the grandchildren of the taxpayers are going to be enjoying this wonderful new space. It would also encourage, if people are thinking of moving to French River and they have children, of course they look at what's available for their children and what kind of facilities are available for their children. And I think it's a great investment.
And Councillor Richard?
Thank you, through you. I think this project's a great idea. I mean, taxpayer dollars, I mean, it's coming from taxpayers and we're putting it back to the taxpayers. So this money is going to be seen very concrete. It's not an imaginary expense. People will be able to see it, feel it, and use it. So if I can move that motion, I'll do it right now for $5,000.
Moved by Richard, seconded by Mayor Giselle. I also have just a quick comment. Félicitations à tous les élèves. Congrats to all the students that have put this project together. I think it's a great project for the whole community. We have many kids in the area that could benefit from this now and in the future. I think you guys did a great job at putting your presentation together, and I look forward to seeing it finished. I see Councillor Dean. You're muted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a comment that I'd like to make about this. I don't really have a problem with the $5,000. what I am more concerned about is the money that we donate now going to be spent now, or is the money all being put aside to reach? I saw this ambitious goal of 100,000 over the next couple of years, and I'm just wondering if the 100,000 is reached, that'll be wonderful. If it's not reached, what happens with the donation that we make, the contribution that we make to this at now? Is it going to be spent? Is the money going to be spent as it comes in, or are we waiting to see this project start when there's enough money to do the whole project? Because I see it's a very ambitious project, and 100 grand is quite a bit of money to be raising. And so I guess I just wonder, how is the program going to proceed? Is it going to be spending the money as it comes in, or are we accumulating money to be able to do the whole job? Or
So if I can answer that, Dean, I don't know if you saw in the presentation, the students had a 3-step presentation.
Yes.
The first part, the first 45,000, which they already have 22,700 collected. First
Yeah.
part is to start in September. If they raise 40, their goal was to raise 80,000. The school said after the first 40,000 that they would match 40, which would give them their 80,000. So they are about $18,000 short of reaching their 40,000 right now. And then the project is to be completed by the following September, I believe, in the slides. So I think it's very realistic.
I did miss some of the presentation, so thank you for that. It sounds like that's not our 5,000 then will be of real help if it's going to be matched by the school board. So, and it's up
to bring them up to 27,000, which would be closer to their objective, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Dave?
Thank you, Madam Chair, through you. I'm kind of in agreement with both sides, which I don't like to be donating big amounts like that of taxpayers' money. But I think in this case, it's an investment in our school and an investment in our community, which will attract more people having a better site. So I'm happy to be for the 5 grand.
So I believe Melanie has a motion prepared for us. And we had Richard moved it and Giselle seconded, I believe. So if you want to read the motion.
Yes, Madam Chair. So the motion is duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that council approves to sponsor the recreation yard redevelopment project of the 9th grade of École Secondaire de la Rivière des Français, a conscious entrepreneurial community school, for an amount of $5,000.
All in favor? Okay, motion is passed. Félicitations. So we're going to continue on with 5 reports and items for consideration.
So we can allow just a few, sorry, Madam Chair, so we can allow a few seconds if the delegation members want to leave the meeting or if they want to stay.
You guys want to stay on, or do you want to leave, or?
You got your money. If I was you, I'd go.
I'd like to thank everyone for your time. Thank you. It's greatly appreciated, and it's nice to see the township putting their money towards our new generation, and I'm sure you guys won't regret it.
Thank you. Merci.
Thank you.
Okay. 5.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
just a comment, just for info. I guess we can get it through the municipality, but to make a donation or to offer volunteer hours, who do we contact?
It's myself on my email. If you look at the video or the presentation, there is an email. We do have different options. Right now, we have an online option where people can pay with credit cards, which they have done so far. There's a lot of checks that I need to go pick up also. but there is a check that can be mailed to the school or a credit card or online. It's quite of a hassle, but you can donate that way. Or if you send me an email, I can work with you and figure something out.
Bob, the
you.
video is on their Facebook page, and the links are also there on the school's L'École secondaire de la Rivière des Françaises Facebook page. The links are all there.
Yep.
Okay. Merci. I guess we're going to continue on. 5 reports and items for consideration. 5.1.1, a COVID update. Mark, our CAO, will speak to this.
Yeah, thank you through you, Madam Chair, and I'm looking forward to seeing this project to completion. I think it'll be a nice addition to the community. So just to get my 2 cents in. So just a quick COVID update in terms of operations. Comme vous le savez, nous avons progressé à étape numéro 1. We moved forward to stage 1 of the reopening plan as of last Friday. Our splash pad has reopened and is in good use with this warm weather that has come about. Our office operations are back to some type of normalcy, but we are addressing and meeting with the public within our environments. The community center in Wellville and Arena remain closed as per the directives, and will remain closed until probably stage 3. But again, we provide updates on a regular basis. The Alban Community Center, same thing, but has been promised to the vaccination clinics until they're no longer in need. So that's basically the quick update that we have at this point for operations. In terms of vaccinations, a lot of information out there, and public health puts out quite a bit of press releases. So tomorrow there's a vaccination clinic in St. Charles, and a portion of the clinic has been opened up to walk-in patrons who qualify for their second dose. So just a reminder in terms of the people who qualify for the second dose are anyone who is eligible for the shorter interval, that which you can find readily on both the public health website and the provincial website. Individuals 70 years of age and older who turned 70 in 2021, and anybody who had received the first dose prior to April 18th. Now, tomorrow's clinic, the open walk-in clinic is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., where there's approximately 66 doses available for walk-ins, and then there's another 64 doses available for second dosages between 3:30 and 5 in St. Charles. Going forward, we have clinics for appointments under the same guidelines, and I'm hearing potential dropping of some of those guidelines probably by the end of the week. So they'll be moving forward in the Sudbury East area on June 18th. There's a Moderna second vaccination available at the Alban Community Center. Regretfully, those are all booked at this time. On June 24th, there'll be another clinic available at the Alban Community Center, and then June 29th and 30th in St. Charles, July 8th in Alban, and July 15th in St. Charles again. Those are the dates that we have at present. I ask everybody to please monitor the public health website and also our municipal website. We try to share all of the pertinent information going forward. Alors, beaucoup de cliniques qui s'en viennent, des ouvertures au public pour marcher à une clinique, et on espère que par la fin de juillet, on peut rencontrer nos objectifs de vacciner toute notre population qu'on peut transférer aux prochaines étapes d'ouverture à la communauté. Alors, merci, Madame la Présidente. Thank you, Madam Chair. That's my update on COVID-19.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mark, or we're good? Okay, we're going to keep going. 5.1.2, a resolution to pass a bylaw to adopt the lease agreement with Centre de Santé Univi Health Center for office space in the municipal complex. The report is in here. We need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Randy, seconded by Dean.
Thank you. It is duly moved and seconded to be resolved that bylaw 2021-37, being a bylaw to authorize a lease agreement for office space within the municipal complex to Centre de Santé Univie Health Center, be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed.
All in favor? 5.2, finances, nil. 5.3, public works and environmental services. 5.3.1, presentation of communication and implementation plan for the public works and Wolseley Bay waste transfer sites. We have a resolution to approve the estimated costs associated with the closure of Wolseley Bay site and the modifications to the public works area site. And I believe Bob will speak to this.
Yes, good evening. So this is to inform council of the communication plan to implement the closure of the Wolseley Bay transfer site and the Novel modified hours site. So in June, we're going to be contacting, and I believe we already have, the they'll call the MOE anymore, it's the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks, to inform them of the changes to be in compliance with our certificate of acceptance. In July, we'll be providing signage to install to the both sites to make sure that the public is well aware. We'll also be sending out letters to any resident within 10 kilometers of the sites. The signage will also include maps indicating where the closest sites are to them and the landfill hours and where the landfill is. And then in September, we'll be closing the Wolseley Bay site and starting to implement those changes at the Novel site. I don't know if you have any questions on that.
Have any questions for Bob? Mayor Giselle? You're on mute.
I'm not used to being unmuted or muted. So when we're doing the communication, either through the letters to the residents, and when we're sending it in the tax bill, can we include something that explains why? Not just the fact that we're doing it, but why we're doing it. I think that's really important for the residents that are affected to know why we're doing this. So if you can include a paragraph with an explanation, I think it would go a long way.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Councillor Richard?
Thank you, through you. So a little bit to what Mayor Peugeot was saying. So could we also, I believe that the intent of this is a temporary measure until we decide what, so it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a pilot project, if I recall correctly, right? So we're planning on doing this for temporary periods. So in the documentation that we're going to be sending with regards to why, we should also include that it, you know, we're testing the waters and it's not a permanent decision as we speak today.
Okay, we're gonna add that also for sure.
Anybody else have any questions for Bob? I have a quick question just about the cameras. So all these, the cameras, the gate, the signage, all this will only be put up in September or prior to?
It'll more likely be put up prior.
Okay. So the sooner the better for the cameras and stuff. I mean, it would be good to get the cameras up and going, and that's my view on that. So thank you. Councillor Richard? No, you just muted yourself.
Double click, sorry. So I was just gonna ask, so those cameras, and I've asked this before, so what kind of, like I heard yesterday, there, for example, we had an infraction in Albin at the site there, and a ticket was actually given, which is great. You know, people dumping furniture at the site is not is not the intent of the site, and that's why the landfill is there for it. So in putting those cameras, I mean, I'm all for putting those cameras, but how much use can we make of those cameras in order to be able to continue to give fines that are worth giving fines? So I mean, we can have a camera there, but if the cameras are just there taking somebody's picture, and nothing can be done of it, then it doesn't give us much use. But I'm assuming that moving forward, there's an answer to that question with regards to how much we can implement giving tickets and how effective that's going to be moving forward.
I can let Mark answer that one, please.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you through you, Madam Chair. Councillor Richard, to answer your question. So it's a three-pronged approach. So one complements the other. So cameras can be used to identify certain troublesome times or advantages that the public is taking to better schedule our bylaw officers to implement and enforce. For council's information as well, is during the municipal budget process, we did approve the addition of another bylaw enforcement officer, which was posted last week. And we're hoping to have somebody in place in July to be able to increase our scheduling 7 days a week to monitor all the sites in conjunction with the technology that we have. Not sure if it answers your question, but they kind of work in tandem together. And with the increased hours of enforcement at the bin sites, we're hoping to get the education and message across.
Okay. Mayor Giselle?
I just have a question with the cost for like the gate and the temporary fencing. I know I'm not a engineer or anything. So what's the difference between the two? Is temporary fencing is not a gate? Or we're putting a special gate there? Is that what we're doing?
No, we're putting a gate. We're putting a gate, but we also have to put some fencing up so people can't just drive in.
Okay, so the gate will be like as you come in to Public Works where the bins are, and
Yes.
and then the fencing will be around all the bins, correct? Is that how it's supposed to be?
There's a few places we need to prevent them from driving in. So
Okay, got it.
Okay, Councillor Dean, did you have your hand up?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that when we are sending out any messages about what we're trying to accomplish, I'd like to suggest that we be sure that we are reasonably specific in terms of trying to ensure that our recycling program is more complete, more effective, working the way it's supposed to do, the way it's supposed to work, and that the objective of having people go to the landfill site as opposed to using the bins on Wolsey Bay or using the bins in Noelville is to ensure that when their garbage and their recycling comes to the landfill site, that it's the way it is supposed to be, that the recycling is usable, that we can recycle it, that we're not contaminating the recycling with stuff that's not. I mean, I just think we should be sure to explain to people that the present recycling program is costing us too much money and too much stuff is going into the landfill because we can't recycle it. And that part of the objective of having people go to the landfill site with their garbage and their recycling is to ensure that, or try to ensure that we're having better results with recycling and what doesn't go into the landfill.
So in our letters to the residents, we'll make sure to detail that.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. It's very important. The environmental committee was kind of following along with the consultant's recommendations, and largely because of our problems with recycling, and not to mention the garbage that's left at the bin sites. It's not supposed to, but I think we all want to see this recycling of ours improved, and this is a beginning. This is just one way we're going to begin to start to try to achieve that.
Thank you. So I believe Mel has a resolution ready for this.
So we just need a mover and a seconder.
Okay, can I get a mover? Councillor Randy and Councillor Dave.
Thank you. So it is duly moved and seconded. Be it resolved that council approves the estimated cost of $20,500 associated with the implementation of the closure of Woolsey Bay Waste Transfer Site and the Public Works Waste Transfer Site during landfill hours, as presented in the report dated June 16th, 2021.
All in favor? Okay, thank you, Bob. So 5.4, Recreation and Community Services, nil. 5.5, Emergency and Protection Services, nil. 5.6, Building, Planning and Development, nil. 6th, Correspondence, we did receive any, I don't believe. 7, the consent agenda. We need a resolution to adopt the items in the contained consent agenda. So do we have a mover? Councillor Dave, seconded by Councillor Bob.
Is duly moved and seconded. Be resolved that council approves the items of the consent agenda under section 7.1 and receives the items under section 7.2 and 7.3.
All in favor? Okay, 8 items separated from the consent agenda. There is none. Notice of motion.
None.
Have none. 10 announcements and inquiries. Anybody have anything? Oh, Councillor Dean.
I have a question for Bob. I think it's Bob. I noticed today on Dry Pine Bay Road that there was an electronic sign indicating what speed somebody's driving when they're going by that. And I'm interested in knowing if this is something that's going to be placed on all the roads for all the time, or just what the objective is of this sign. And when was it decided to do this sort of thing? Because I don't remember any discussion about it. So whatever, I'd like to be enlightened a little about what's going on with this.
So this project was brought on by the Public Works Committee, I do believe 2 years ago. And it was installed on Dry Pine Bay because of all the complaints we've had of people speeding there. This sign will also collect data as how many cars go by in a day. So it'll give us some good insights on how many people travel the roads and that. And it's a removable sign, so it's going to be moved to different roads at different times of the year.
Thank you, Bob. That gives me, I particularly like the idea of the traffic count, but I'm just going to leave you with this comment of mine. We have a 50 click speed limit on all these roads, and the speed limit is not worth the powder to blow it to hell unless it's enforced. Advising people how fast they're going at whatever the cost is of doing that doesn't seem to be particularly important unless we're looking at more enforcement of the speed limit. And the only way I can see that happening is if we get the police department that we're all contributing a lot of money to start doing some enforcement on all of our smaller roads, and to set up some speed traps or whatever is required, because just putting that sign up there, as I drove by it, I noticed that I was going over the speed limit, as does almost everybody on the road. But I don't think it's going to do much good unless we have enforcement.
Once we're able to collect the data, we'll be able to contact the OPP with our data, and then they'll be able to set up speed traps, if you want to call them that.
Okay. All right.
Mayor Giselle?
Dean, just to let you know that through CPAC, I've been working with the OPP. We've received a number of complaints with regard to excessive speed, not just on the Dry Pine area, but as you're entering from the 80 to the 60 into Albin, and then by the Beau Séjour. Through their commander, they have this new gadget. Mark, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it collects data, and it was placed just past the 60 as you're coming into Albin. And the results of that were staggering. It collects data, how at what time, how fast they're going, etc. and the report was generated by the OPP. As a result of that, they set up an enforcement program for that area. And I know they've been there because I almost got caught myself. So they were at the entrance of Alvin for a few days, and also pass around the Beau Séjour and into close to Nouvelleville. So the problem area is this new gadget is going to collect data, and then it assists the OPP in the enforcement part. So we're working very closely with the OPP. So the data that's being collected through that slow down, or your whatever the thing is, we'll be able to give that to the OPP, and then they will see, what time of the day or what time, when during the week that there's a break in the law. So then they'll be able to set up appropriate enforcement.
Well,
Mark, did you have a comment to that, or?
No, the mayor, through you, Madam Chair, the mayor answered the question and delivered the information. It's all about gathering data and making use of resources properly and identifying the problem times a day, times a week, and pinpointing the specific time to catch the high-speed areas. So everybody's answered the questions. Thank you.
let's be sure we do one on the Delamere Road.
Yes, that's on the list.
I think there's quite a few roads that could use that machine. And I don't know about you, Dean, but when I see one of those machines, it kind of makes me slow down. I say, oh, I'm going over, so then I slow down. So that's just, maybe it's just me, but that's the effect it has on me.
That's for that trip.
Yeah, but then after that, you keep an eye out, right? So it's a good start anyways. At least we're starting with something, so that's good to see. Any other announcements or inquiries? Councillor Bob?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. I've been getting a lot of favorable comments on our new signage on the Highway 69 entering the municipality, southbound. People notice it, they love it, and they say thank you. So I've been getting quite a few comments. I just want to share that.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we'll continue. 11, I need a mover and a seconder. Oh, no, we have no closed sessions. And I need somebody to mover and a seconder. Councillor Dave, seconded by Randy.
For the confirmation bylaw?
As a confirmation bylaw, yes.
Perfect. Okay. So duly moved and seconded, be resolved that bylaw 2021-39, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council of the municipality of French River at a meeting held on June 16th, 2021, be read at first, second, and third time and finally passed.
All in favor? Now do I need a resolution to adjourn?
Yes.
A mover, Councillor Richard, any seconder? Councillor Bob?
Thank you. Duly moved and seconded, be it resolved that the meeting be adjourned at 6:58.
All in favor? Thank you. Good night. And we'll
Good night,
see
everyone.
you the first week of July.
Good night.
Good night. Have a good week.